Ricciardo was on his way to finally score a point finish again after 3 disappointing races. Unfortunately for the Australian driver, an engine failure 6 laps before the end of the race marked another low point in an already troublesome year. Daniel only managed to score 4-point finishes in 16 races total. That is a point finish percentage of just 25%. This is a big contrast to the 12-point finishes of his teammate, which equals a 75% point finish rate. Although Daniel was on his way to score points, he showed meager pace and had a DRS train behind him for the majority of the race. Even Nyck de Vries, who acted as a stand-in for Albon this weekend, was lining up in the DRS train waiting for an opportunity to overtake Ricciardo in the race. This was even more extraordinary, knowing that de Vries did so in a Williams. Ricciardo has been lacking some serious pace in the McLaren, although it must be said that he was unfortunate at times as well. During the Hungary Grand Prix, the team put him on hard tires, which proved to be detrimental to Daniel's chances of scoring points. Yet we can't deny that Ricciardo is off the pace at the moment, which is something Günther Steiner acknowledges as well. In an interview with motorsport.com, Steiner commented about the Mick Schumacher situation. "We want an experienced and technically minded teammate for Kevin. There are none of these currently on the market except for Ricciardo, but his form isn't great at the moment." But there is more bad news coming for Ricciardo. The Honey Badger has repeatedly said that he still enjoys F1, and in a recent interview with the Dutch news station, he revealed his preference for next year. "It is clear to me, if I keep racing, then I want to stay in F1. I'm not ready to drive in another championship. I am a fan of a couple other championships, but I don't want to drive there yet. It feels like I belong to this sport, but not against every price. The feeling has to be right." Despite his own intentions, his options are shrinking, and more teams are seriously debating whether Ricciardo is the right man to bring success to F1 teams. There are currently 3 seats officially left for next year: Alpine, Haas, and Williams. But to make things worse, the team bosses have all revealed their first and second drivers' preference for next year. To say the least, things don't look good for Ricciardo. So what did Alpine's CEO recently say about Ricciardo? What are Daniel's chances at Haas and Williams? How realistic is it that we see Daniel on the grid next year? And what would be Ricciardo's best choice for 2023? Let's find out. The Australian driver saw his best starting position in 2022 at the Italian Grand Prix. He qualified 8th, but due to penalties from 9 drivers, including Sainz, Hamilton, Verstappen, and Perez, Ricciardo started 4th right after his teammate Norris. Although Daniel has been out-qualified 13 times now by his teammate, he did manage to overtake Norris at the start. Due to an anti-stall of Norris, he was set back to 6th place, while the Australian moved to 3rd. However, Ricciardo didn't have the pace to drive away from Gasly, and soon 6 drivers got stuck behind Daniel. Eventually, his teammate passed the Australian driver in lap 38, and due to a non-point finish of the Honey Badger caused by an engine failure, he is now 69 points behind his teammate. After the race, he said the following: "I felt like I was doing a good job to hold off Pierre Gasly, but didn't have much more to show than that. It was a busy race, trying to hold on, do what I could, and then, felt like we got a little bit of a rhythm on the hard tires with 10 to 15 laps to go, but then the engine just switched off out of turn 6. I had to pull over straight away because it was stuck in gear, and so I couldn't roll to a safe place. It would have been nice to get some points, but it wasn't meant to be today." The Italian Grand Prix summed up Ricciardo's season this year, one where bad luck and a lack of performance made a big impact not only on his season, but also his career. After the Australian driver officially lost his 2023 seat to Piastri at the end of August, he has been linked to many other teams. One particular team that he was linked to was Alpine. Safnauer, team boss of Alpine, has said in the past that Ricciardo was on the radar to replace Piastri. However, Helmut Marko just recently revealed that Alpine has set their focus on Pierre Gasly. The French team is looking for an experienced driver who has proven his worth, but is also loyal and willing to build up the team. This last part is of particular importance to the French team after their complete failure with Alpine Academy driver Piastri. They invested millions in the junior driver, but eventually Piastri signed a contract with McLaren after what Piastri described as miscommunication and unclarity about his own future at Alpine. So what are Ricciardo's chances to secure a seat at Alpine? Daniel said to motorsport.com that his next F1 contract should be for a long-term project. "If I think back to 2017, then I have only been 2 years at a team. I don't just want to sign somewhere and drive somewhere else in 2024. Daniel's own ambitions are in line with Alpine's, yet there are multiple factors that are holding the French team back to work together with Ricciardo once more. First is Ricciardo's current lack of performance in combination with his paycheck. Daniel has been among the highest paid drivers in F1 for a while now and is estimated to make $15 million a year at McLaren. When he drove for Renault, now Alpine, he was estimated to even make $25 million a year excluding bonuses. However, Ricciardo isn't known for his loyalty after he left Red Bull at the end of 2018. The former Renault team boss was extremely surprised and disappointed when Daniel announced his move to McLaren halfway through the 2020 season. It is believed that the Honey Badger already signed a deal with McLaren before the 2020 season even started. Daniel certainly left a bad feeling as the French team was building their team around the star driver. Over the Italian Grand Prix, Alpine executive Rossi revealed that their preference goes to Gasly, while they also consider Jack Doohan, currently driving in F2, to replace Alonso. He said to F1.com, "We believe in Doohan. He's shown a lot of potential, especially lately. He's a great person, he's fast, his father is also a champion I admire and a person I admire. One way or another, we will try and put him in an F1 car at some point." So with diminishing chances at Alpine, what are the chances that Haas and Williams want to work with Daniel? Although Williams hasn't been the team it once was, they do seem to find their way up the field. Especially in the hands of Alexander Albon, the Williams car regularly scores better than Daniel. The budget cap and new regulations concerning the CFD and simulation times does offer Williams a chance to fight their way forward over the next seasons. However, Ricciardo got huge competition for a possible Williams seat after Nyck de Vries performed an astonishing result during the Monza Grand Prix. Even Toto Wolff openly praised the Formula E driver and said that he deserves a chance in F1. He said, "Niki Lauda would have taken off his hat for his performance today. He deserves an F1 seat." Team boss of Williams, Joost Capito, said to a Dutch news site, "I've known Nick for a while and we're friends. He's always on the list, but he has other obligations too, so it's up to him. He needs to see what his future holds, and from there we move forward. The seat depends on a number of factors, but Nick certainly showed the entire paddock what he can do." De Vries also comes at a much smaller payroll than Ricciardo and has proven to be talented enough to score points with the Williams car. So what about Haas? The latest news is that Hülkenberg has emerged as the front runner to take Schumacher's place. Nico is an experienced driver who has a reputation to be easy to work with. Other candidates are Giovinazzi and Fittipaldi. When Steiner was asked about Ricciardo, he responded, "Daniel is one of the few who has experience and is technically minded, but his form isn't great and we don't know what he's going to do." It seems that none of the teams have a real interest in offering Daniel a seat for next year. His high paycheck in combination with his lacking performances make him significantly less wanted. However, Hamilton said that it would be a shame if we don't see Ricciardo on the grid next year. Daniel has been linked to Mercedes to become a test driver for next season and take a sabbatical. Even Ricciardo himself talked about taking a sabbatical next year, but whether that is out of luxury or because he has no other options, that is to be thought about. Do you think Ricciardo will have to take a sabbatical next year? Let me know in the comments section below.